All right, Chair Gumi and the Sultan of Sokoto are not in support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, allowing the American troops to step their foot here in Nigeria, and they tell President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that he should forget about 2027, that the North are not going to vote for him come 2027. Let me have your reaction on that.
Since ever the government, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came back from his countless trip. I think the last one was the one he visited. He did with the Turkish president, where he signed a lot of things, you know. And the revealing part of it is the response coming from the Turkish government, you know, concerning the national statue of Nigeria, which sent a direct signal to so many people within the Nigerian space on what is actually going on. Why would Bola Ahmed Tinubu be going in that direction? But one thing we must understand at this point is that this present deployment of US soldiers, I do not think that the federal government of Nigeria was actually carried along, was actually involved, you know, before that decision was actually taken, because it's like Donald Trump actually caught them unawares, you know, by that deployment. And since that deployment happened, you know, we don't know actually the location where those US soldiers are located or are going to be based, you know, currently now. So, you know, they have thrown Nigeria into mystery. So the likes of the Sultan of Sokoto, Sheikh Gumi, and all these people who seem to have sympathy for the jihadist radicalism that is going on in Nigeria, you know, seem to be very confused. And they are blaming it solely on Bola Ahmed Tinubu's, you know, nonchalant or incompetent, you know, move within the global diplomatic circle to market Nigeria and put Nigeria in a position where the international community would understand Nigeria better. But unfortunately, you know, it didn't happen. So the federal government themselves, you know, have not come out to tell us that, okay, we are aware, no statement is coming from the presidency. You know, everybody seems to be silent. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is silent. You know, this is a nation where 20, 30, 100 people will die and nothing will happen. Look at what happened in Kwara. That's a clear example. The president, normally in a nation like this, the president is supposed to be physically present in that area where it was the extremists themselves invaded and took away less than almost 200 lives from that community. The president is nowhere to be found. The defense structure of Nigeria, nobody's coming, nobody's reacting, nobody's stating anything. You know, it looks like something mysterious is actually happening, because it looks like Aso Rock is gradually losing grip. I think at this point in time, Bola Ahmed Tinubu might be totally confused, because we didn't hear how and the manner. We only heard it from, you know, international media, but we have not heard the government reaction to the presence of U.S. military troops. It looks like the federal government were not actually carried along, you know, and the location of those troops is unknown, triggering fear, you know, within the northern hemisphere, and the supposed people who are also in the list of people sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. And this has triggered a political anger within the political class of the northern oligarchy. And of course, the Fulani mainly, who are major politicians controlling the entire Fulani North, or the entire northern Nigeria as it stands now. So they are looking at it that, you know, I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot be able to, you know, be sophisticated enough to engage the international community, or to engage what leaders on why they silent. Why is Aso Rock silent when we see this kind of a thing? Why are the, you know, media aides to the president actually silent over this issue? You know, so it is quite very uncomfortable at this point in time when you see this kind of deadly silence coming from the presidency. You know, another factor is this: at this point in time, where the Sultan of Sokoto and Gumi and the rest of them are saying Bola Ahmed Tinubu should forget about 2027. There is something that Tinubu doesn't want to step really hard on the northern people, or those who are having this sympathy for this terrorist, is because that we understand clearly what happened under Jonathan. That the same APC was part of the people that actually connived and brought this terrorism in Nigeria. So it looks like, the president is trying to be careful, over his moves against the North interest to re-election, because if he tries it, then they might open some kind of a secret that will shake the world. And that's why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is careful not even to go after Gumi, not even to question anybody within the northern, class, who has been on several occasions. Look at the issue of Malami. Look at the kind of guns that we have found in his house. Look at even Ribadu. Look at the Minister of Defense for State, Matawale. Look at all these people within that class. So it tells you a lot of things that is actually going on. And these are the people who are behind what is going on in Nigeria. So it's likely that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is treading very carefully not to be, exposed on how radical Islamism, is gradually, taking over the Nigerian space. Even with the presence of the U.S. military in Nigeria, the killing is still going on. And that's what Gumi is saying, that the presence of Trump cannot stop these people. Unless the United States of America just want, I don't know the kind of level of diplomacy, because it's becoming very too uncomfortable for people, because this is not what we expected them to do. We saw their decision in between Somali and Somaliland. We saw what is happening in Canada. Alberta is almost pulled out from Canada, as a sovereign nation recognized. Then why is the United States of America finding it difficult with all this overwhelming evidence to come out and tell the global world, this is where we stand. We are pushing for the disintegration of Nigeria, not in two regions, and no, we don't want that. We want a separate nation.
Why you don't want that? Why not the south and the northern part of Nigeria? Why don't you want them, Mr. Chief?
There was nothing like the south and the north. It has never been there. It was an artificial.
Former president of Libya, talk about Gaddafi, suggested that Nigeria should split into two, the southern and the northern part of Nigeria, because of the rising of insecurity then, and this not togetherness. Gaddafi then suggested this. I don't think that the South have been in peace for decades now.
The South have never been in peace. The South have never been in peace. You cannot be talking about injustice and you are talking about peace. The South have never been in peace, and the South can never stay together. There are levels of understanding that we must talk to ourselves.
Mr. Chinedu, when I talk about the South where the South and the South is, they have never had any difference before.
You are the one that does not know there's a secret war going on
between the South or the South.
Yes, there's a secret war
between the South and the South. A war
of the mind, a war of consciousness that is going on within the southern part of the country. You want me to mention them? I can go ahead and mention names, and I can tell you that it becomes very clear.
Okay, if Nigeria pay up, I'm not advocating that Nigeria should be divided. If Nigeria should be divided into two or into, how many do you want Nigeria to be divided into?
Okay, let me tell you, I'm not interested. How many this thing, because if they are going to break Yoruba nation and create Oduduwa nation, create two nations in Southwest, it's okay. They can create Yoruba nation and create Oduduwa nation in Yoruba land. It's okay. As long as, because I can tell you that 50% of the Yorubas are Muslims and 50% are Christians.
What about the South and the Southeast?
Okay, there's nothing like South on this issue, whether you like it or not. I listened to Ned Nwoko very well. Ned, I think it was on Tenet.
Ned Nwoko is advocating for anonymous state.
No, you didn't listen to that interview. What did he say? He said 75% of people in South are Igbos. Can you listen to that? Including the governor of Rivers State, who is from Opopo. So what are you talking about? We know the calculation of the South thing. We know how South came about. What we are saying is very clear. I'm not interested.
There may be people in tribe and choose to remain in South.
No, my brother, and let me tell you, ab initio, a lot of people were asking questions. about Biafra. What is the meaning of Biafra? How did Biafra came about? Who originated Biafra? After all, Biafra did not come from the
And
Igbo.
they say it's a Portuguese name.
Biafra is an alien. Is alien to the Igbo nation. And some people are saying Igbo Republic. That is not correct. I think I've said this several over and over again. The first kingdom on earth, a lot of people will not believe it. And other than the Portuguese, even before the Portuguese, colonization came, there has been Biafra. A lot of journalists, including Dupen, about it, does not know about it. When anybody asks, you start mentioning. Are you trying to tell me that it was the Portuguese that established the name called Biafra? They are not the one. They renamed an existing name before they came. The name had been existing before they came. Go and do your research very well. And if you look at it, the demography shows very clearly that that name was specifically for a particular people. And if you look at it, I can tell you, most of those areas, go and look at the ancient map of the Portuguese. You will come and tell me where the south and where the south rubbish. Nobody will accept that. Anybody that does not want to stay in Biafra for whatever reason, with all the territorial share, under protection, to relocate to the north. Biafra had made criteria. Let me tell you, you saw what is happening in Ijoland now. Asante Okubo is on the law. The people have risen against him. You are seeing it online every day now. The same thing we are saying, that time will come that the era of those people will no longer be seen as relevant again. Can you go and tell somebody like General Sabuja now that there's something like South and he believes you? So the awareness is getting on. So there is core unification agenda that is, already moving in that direction. So the best thing for the world to do is to look at it critically. And first of all, not south, north and south. There's not like north and south. Declare the region that are advocating.
Mr. Chinedu, where will you keep the people of the Benue State, the people of Kwara State? Where are they going to fall on?
Okay, Benue State, let me tell you.
Benue
State, if you look at the real map of Biafra, the old Eastern Province, that's what they call it, old Eastern Province. Before they begin to remove the names of change the names of people. Go and look at it. Where was Benue? Where was Benue included as old Eastern Province? Where was Benue? Benue is part of Biafra. Kogi is part of Biafra. The Ambazonia that was given referendum to pull out from Biafra, Abi, that's today part of Cameroon. So you've never come to that point of asking such questions. It's a very clear thing. We are the one that go closer to the waters. And I can tell you that the joy you are talking about, and I can tell you, if you go to Ijoland, there's Igbo there, there's Ishekiri, there's Urobo. In Ijo. And if you remove all these minorities within that space, you discover that, Ijo has no population.
All right, Mr. Chinedu Michael, I think